Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Yehovah, Yehoshua, this is sound some YYBY. All right, so I want to tell a cool story, man. About Studio One situation. Because I was always good at discovering dolls, even to this day. Now, the reason why I want to bring up this story is because it's been times in the last 3 years. There's always certain people who come to me and say certain remarks on my platform where it's you don't know about Studio One, or, oh man, y'all new jits, man, just getting with Studio One, and we been doing this, and we just, y'all don't really know about it, and like all this ego stuff, and not realizing I was really one of the first people who used Studio One, bro. If you just scroll down my timeline all the way down to the beginning of my YouTube page, I got 2 Studio One videos that I put up. One got 23,000 or 30-some thousand views at that time when YouTube was kind of growing a little bit. You get what I'm saying? That video say 12 years ago. But Studio One came out in 2009. So I was using it already in 2009. And at that time I had the crack version, right? Studio One, I had every version of Studio One, from version all the way to right now 6, and I'm about to get 7. So so that's the reason why I want to talk about this, because of some of these people it's people just be talking and egotistical about a lot of things, man. I'm like, yo, bro. So when I first discovered Studio One years ago, one of the reasons why I knew a lot of people wasn't really using or hip to it, because they were so caught up in Pro Tools. And the times when I was able to decide, when I made a decision to put my first video on YouTube, because I had a lot of chances, but I wasn't using my brain at that time. I wasn't really thinking at that time, My mind was on other stuff, recording a lot of artists in Philly and everything. So, when I first started using it, I was telling a lot of people about it on all the platforms. Yo, you bugging, man. No, nobody ain't trying to use that. Nobody don't want to use that. Man, come on, man. Really, dog, Pro Tools over here, or Logic over here, or Cubase over here. And this is what they were saying and doing. I wish I could have a lot of the screenshots of this shit, bro. It was from the internet parts, from off the internet. It just, people, I'm telling y'all, man, this is going to be one of those top dogs going to come around, man. And it's, because even at that time in Studio One from the beginning already had the concept. I already knew what time it was. Their concept was that we're going to take all the dopest features from other DAWs and make it simplified. We're going to make it so simple, because these other companies making things very difficult to do. When they started to drag and drop from the beginning. So I seen every pro and con of Studio One, really no disrespect, but nobody can't tell me about Studio One from the pros and the cons of this DAW, man, because I had every one of them from the first one. I started with the crack version and getting every crack version of one that came out until I was able to buy it. Right. And I seen where I knew people wasn't really hip to it. I'm not saying I'm the only person discovered at that time, but what I'm saying is that it was nobody on YouTube posting any videos up of Studio One. That's why my video, if you scroll down, got so many views. So I didn't even know, at that time that, of the monetization stuff on YouTube. I didn't know about that, because they end up changing the rules of it anyway, the way they got it now. Because I actually passed the monetization thing at that time, and then they changed the rules, and they kind of set me back, and I was about to stop using the YouTube page. So that video was I put 2 videos up, and I had a lot of videos that I wanted to put up until they took the monetization thing away. I forgot year it was, but I had a lot of videos I recorded from 2009, 10, 11, and 12. You know, that's what I was recording and everything, right? You know, so, oh, thank you. Yes, how did it go? Oh, okay. All right. Um, so as I was progressing through Studio One, I'm still trying to show people like, I'm like, yo, listen, man, this workflow is beyond. And it reminds you, it's not one DAW I had at that time. Every DAW I had, every DAW I knew about, every DAW I got, every DAW I tested out. And to this day, I still test these DAWs out. Just look at my page, like, if you rewind it back before that, my first DAW I ever paid for with cash was Reason. You know, that's the first DAW I ever paid cash for, leaving analog. So I say this many times and through my videos, but you know, sometimes people have you could tell people who not really zoomed into you know what a person do, what I do, and everything, and like the same way I was telling them about Bitwig, the same way I was telling them about Studio One, you know, the same way I was telling them about Ableton Live at that time. You know, I was always good at finding DAWs before people even thought about really using them. I kind of slowed down now, but Studio One has stuck because again, my first DAW I paid for was Reason. I used Reason from 1, 2, 2.5, I think 3.0. Then when I realized I couldn't really record in it like that, I wanted to do everything in one DAW, produce, record, blah, blah, blah. I stopped using Reason. I said, okay, cool. So I went from Reason to Cubase. Cubase, you know, powerhouse. You know, some of the people from Studio One, PreSonus, was working at Cubase. I mean, people said, yo, you know, they used to work for them. I said, bro, I've been knew that from the jump. I knew that from the beginning. Because Cubase was the ones who created VSTs, you know what I'm saying? So I knew from then. It's like a lot of people don't understand who they be talking to. Like they think you could tell they just knew and they just got in the game. And I get it, you know, we love it and we hype about it and all that. But people got to stop having this ego thing, like approaching people as if they think nobody don't know shit. And it's like, only if you check my background, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so, you know, Cubase was the first ones with the VST, and some of the workers that own PreSonus Studio One used to work with them. So you know that was a competition thing right there. So I used Cubase for a long time. The window, I was on Cubase and I was on the window more than Cubase. The window was the powerhouse, still is to this day. And you know, so I was testing that out, and I was going through my moments of DAWs because I was an artist, producer, and engineer. I was doing all three aggressively, but I was an artist first. And at that time, Cubase wasn't good at making beats, man. I'm sorry, bro. Came to mixing and stuff like that, powerhouse. Why I say that? Because I came from Reason. And I seen the concept what Reason was providing when it came to making beats at that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and the MIDI concept, you know, Reason changed a lot now. You know, and other DAWs like Samplitude, you know, I play with them all, man. And I seen the pros and the cons of it. So when I realized I didn't like the beat making inside Cubase, I left that alone, you know, start tapping into Logic, a little bit of Logic, but mainly Ableton Live. Cause I'm a PC boy, so I don't like Mac. And if you know anything that was on PC, I had it. You know, Sonar, you know, anything, I test them all still to this day. And I went through all them joints. So that means it was a time span where I was just going through every DAW from the year 2000 to about 2007 and 8. I was every DAW that was out at that time on PC, I was messing with. I was going through my crazy mode. And then Studio One came out. I discovered it. I'm like, what the hell is this? As soon as I seen it, it was the same way like when I seen Reason. I said, I see. It was fresh. It was clean. it was like that drag and drop thing. People weren't even really on it at that time. And I was trying to put everybody on. They was like, yo, man, get out of here with that. It's Pro Tools. I'm like, nah, listen, I'm telling y'all, man. This workflow is on a whole nother level. And I finally in it. I couldn't wait. I said, I got to crack it. And I cracked it. Forgive me, Studio One. Now every dog, since then, I bought every one of them, But hold up, though. Let's rewind it back before that. Before I ever discovered Studio One, when it came to audio interfaces, we had the PreSonus stuff. PreSonus had, make their own equipment. So I had the PreSonus audio interface. I forgot which one it was. It's one of the older versions, right? Quality. One of my homies, he'll produce. He had it. Like a couple of my homies had those. They had some of the boards. PreSonus had still to this day, you got a lot of product that you can get that people sleep on. That's quality. And even at that time, I had the Steinberg audio interface, the C12. Oh, I can name so many audio interfaces that I had. But before I ever discovered Studio One, I had a lot of the PreSonus equipment. And so, but like I say, I started using Studio One and putting everybody on. Then it started kind of popping a little bit, man. And here come Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley, do like they do. Studio One do like this promotion thing with Teddy Riley. Everybody going to uproar like, oh man, Teddy Riley use it. That means that we can use it too. Oh man, that's how people be. They don't want to use their own brain. They gotta be pushed. It gotta be somebody that's in the industry to use it to make them feel like they gotta use it. See, me, not me though. I'm the same way to this day. I don't give a fuck who using it. Like if I like it, that's what I'm using. You know what I'm saying? And I was messing with that before Teddy Riley started using it, or maybe I was using it the same time he was. I don't know. But when Teddy Riley started using that John, that's when people start kind of like zooming into Studio One, right? And here come the egos of people with Studio One. Yeah, we got this, and y'all don't know about that. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, bro, I've been knowing about this dog from the beginning, bro. Let's go down my YouTube timeline all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the two videos that nobody know because they had a unique concept on their joint, how to clean the vocals, and I was doing the MPC. I showed them the MPC style concept of making beats in Studio One, and stuff like that. So another two videos I put up, they took those down, and I took one of them down. They ended up taking the other one down for copyright reasons because I had music playing on there when I was showing the video, and that video had got crazy views on Studio One. Yeah, so matter of fact, I just thought about it. That's another reason why a lot of the videos got taken down, because of the music that I was having on there or I was producing on there when I was trying to show tutorials of Studio One. Way back then, when people was doubting me like, nah, we ain't mess with that, bro. And I'm just trying to put people on game. I was doing tutorials like, listen, check this out. Check this joint out on platforms. Check this out in groups. Check this out. Nah. Now everybody love it. Or damn near a lot of people love it, or they tapped into it, or they mess with it, And I already seen the vision from back then. I didn't have to wait for Teddy Riley or somebody in the or so-called popular to use Studio One at that time, because I seen it. When the way it was designed and the concept, it was already dope from the beginning. And then on top of that, what's so ill about it, even since from the beginning, they was known with adding features just like that. So a lot of y'all new heads that's going through y'all moments about Studio One now, because of the stuff they've been changing and all that. Listen, bro, Studio One been consistent with features since the beginning. They've been consistent with features from the beginning. That's how I knew that they was going to be in competition with a lot of these dolls, because they wasn't playing. They was coming. Every version or every new update, they had some dope features to add to the doll. People was crying about they don't have this, they don't got that. Yo, it takes time, man. It takes time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a company. They're trying to make money in the longevity, so they're not just going to give you everything in a one doll in one version that another DAW took about 14 years to get. Yo, y'all really bugging, bro. Y'all really think that, like, well, let me say it in a better way. It's like say I come out with a new DAW today, right? And this is the first DAW, and I got every feature in this one DAW that it took 15 years for a DAW to have. It's like they don't got nothing else to put out. I get the business. I understand how it goes, or they just don't know what to put out. And yeah, so the times I use Studio One and everything through the years and blah blah blah. And it was some little issues and everything, a lot of crashing and a lot of this and that. Boom, boom, boom. Like I told y'all, I was using I had certain crack versions, and I end up buying it because I think I end up buying the official version of Studio One, and this is the truth. The official version of Studio One at version, I think 3 or 4. That's when I said I gotta pay these people, man, because it's I like them, I support their stuff, and I always like the original equipment. But it was a lot of bugs, it was a lot of certain things and stuff like that because I was having those crack versions. It was a lot of issues. So I ended up paying for, the real version because I'm like, I can't keep going through this. I went through the plug-in days, the plug-in phase, stuff like that over the time. That's why some of y'all might see videos where I'm talking about third-party plugins. I still got a few of them right now, but I only use ones that Studio One don't have. But then again, between that time with Studio One, I went through a phase where I started using Bitwig. I got caught up in my bag using Bitwig, and I put a lot of people on the Bitwig. It was the same process, right? People thought I was bugging out about Bitwig. Bitwig is a very creative DAW, but it's missing a lot of certain important features that I need, right? So through this whole little time of Bitwig, you go on my page, you'll see a lot of Bitwig videos. So that was the process of that. And that amazing DAW, still got certain features that's very important. And so I stopped using Bitwig, and at that time, Bitwig, the same way now, Bitwig got this concept where you pay yearly. You don't have to, but you can. You pay yearly, so whatever they keep coming out through that year, that's what you get. If it's a new version of the DAW come out, if say you got version Bitwig 2, if they bring out Bitwig 3, you get it for free. You know what I'm saying? Because you already pay that yearly. It's like, and whatever new features come out, you get it. It's a guarantee they bring out crazy features between a certain time because that's their concept. They had to stand on that, and they still doing that now. And the reason why I'm talking about this because that's the same concept that Studio One is doing now. And I got a previous video I was talking about that, right? But I started using Bitwig, and then the time I was using Bitwig, I was still using Studio One. And then that's when Reason came back out, and I discovered Reason in 10. Not discovered Reason in 10, but I started using Reason back at 10 because I was always watching it and, checking it out to see if they're going to add recording. They eventually added recorder to the joint, but I didn't like how they had it, the approach with the software recorder. I think it was recorder, something like that in the process of Reason. And you got to put it. It was weird how they had it running. I ain't like that, but I was glad that you was able to record the vocals in there. And then when Reasons hit me up, saying that well, if you version 12 will be compatible with 4K, and I'm already on 4K because gotta remember Studio One was the first DAW. Probably the first DAW that was compatible with 4K HIDPI because my screen and my laptop was already compatible, and I knew how the clarity and the crispy of just the view of just watching this and looking at your DAW, where it's a difference. And why does that matter? Like I told y'all before, is that because certain plugins wasn't compatible with 4K, so they was very tiny or very big. And they caused a lot of crash issue because the resolution wasn't ready for it. And those companies did not make their plugins compatible to 4K. They wasn't catching up. Now they have. And Studio One, or their plugins was already compatible with that, so I wasn't having no issues. And I was normally using stock stuff 95% of the time anyway. And Reason wasn't compatible with 4K. But when they told me that, hey, well, listen, if you buy 11, we'll give you 12 for free. So I said I bought 11 and got 12 for free. I was hyped, 4K and all the other little features and everything. Gave it a chance from version 10, blah, 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 all the way to 13. And the whole time I'm using Reason, my first DAW in my heart, the first DAW that I ever paid cash for $500, back in the day and everything. And, I seen the memories of that from the beginning. Reason the same way Studio One is. Reason the same way. I had it since the first one, right? Some people just got into Reason when they got 5, 6, 7. They just thought, I had it since the first one. I knew about Reason since the first, when it first came out. Same way a lot of these dolls. But by me tapping into Studio One and that workflow in Studio One, that drag and drop, that chord track, that all these certain things, again, I'm an artist, producer, engineer, Normally it's more of a producer engineer now, in sound design. And it's like that workflow I wasn't getting inside Reason. I was forcing it. I said, I found ways I did videos to find ways to make the workflow obvious. Just go look at my videos on Improve You. I got Reason versus Studio One and Studio One versus Reason, and the features that this one have, the features that one don't have, and shit like that. You just see what I'm talking about. So that means I'm going through this transition, messing with the doll, to see what I'm gonna really mess with completely, because I really don't want to tap in 1,000 dolls. I don't want to use this doll for this and use this doll for this and use that doll for that. Nah, man, that's not really me. I want to try to be dominant with one doll, even though I can use them all. Because now you're spending money on everything. You're just buying everything. You buying shit that you don't need, and that's what I end up going through of these dolls. I got license to everything: Bitwig, Studio One, Sampler Tool, Reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't even sell them because nobody want to buy them. Because I don't know why people don't want to buy them. I don't get it. It's hard to sell license to dolls and shit, and license to plugins. You know how many plugins I bought from Reason on rack extensions? Good gracious, man. You know how many sounds I got for the same thing with Studio One? Same thing with Bitwig. And my point of this video is just to show y'all that of who I am and my process of how long I've been doing this shit, man. Like I've been tapping into this stuff a lot, and a lot of people be thinking like, oh, well, you ain't up there with the big dogs, so you're not around somebody, you don't know what's going on. You'd be surprised who I know and what I know, bro. Like people got to stop doubting people with this ego and thinking people don't know nothing. They need to just go back and do their research first before they speak on something. And right now, Studio One, man. Studio One is still a fantastic DAW, and damn near just all my equipment I got right now is part of PreSonus. My audio interface, I got the Quantum ES2. I just bought the Atom SQ drum. I was doubting that at first, but that thing is tough. I got the studio monitors. I got the Aries E8 XT. I got the microphone, the PS1 by PreSonus. I got the headphones right here, the HD9s, for mixing and monitoring when I'm recording sessions. Then I got the DAW, so. So that's all. I just wanted to tell you a little bit of my story, man. If you got a story, drop it down at the bottom, man. Tell me what you think, man. This is YYBY. Peace.